say, how could that ever happen? Well, how about you doing something to start with? How about you sending the first out that way? Start it with prayer. Then, Lord, how do I reconnect? Today's about reconnection, and it's about building our family. I want to encourage you, with those of you that have family at home right now, take time to be together. Now, the middle of the week, I open up the Tulsa World. And I look on the front page, and here is this giant picture right in the middle of the front page of the Tulsa World. And it says, dinner time is family time. And this guy preached my message before I could get to it this Sunday. It says, turn off the electronics and tune in to one another. Mary Emmer holds hands with her husband, Fred Emmer, and their 9-year-old daughter, Laurel, as their 13-year-old son, Marshall, says grace over the family dinner at their home Wednesday. Now, folks, when the Tulsa World starts teaching the general public how to pray at mealtime, it is a wonderful sign. And I want you to know there's a lot of great people down there in so many different departments, and they've been writing a lot of great stories in all the areas of the business, local news, as well as the sports, but front page stories that are so inspiring. I want to read this one to you because when I read it, I said, this is what I was going to say. So I'm just going to read it. Now, he says it a little different and, views a little bit different, but basically it's the same thought I would share. Meals offer a time that the family can focus on the day and each other, by Mike Averill. At least 4 nights a week, Fred Emmer and his family sit down together at the dinner table to eat and bond and maybe play some games. It's so we can know each other and not be strangers in the same house, he said. We're not necessarily solving the crisis du jour like the Cleaver family did. It's not unusual that the crisis of the day will erupt at the table. We probably solve as many problems as we create in the short run, but we think in the long run it's incredibly valuable. A recent study from the National Center on Addiction and Substance Abuse shows that family dinners can in fact be quite valuable. And here's what this study found out. The report of the importance of family dinners 5 shows that teens who eat fewer than 3 meals a week with their families are twice as likely to use tobacco or marijuana. Just straight out secular statistics. More than 1.5 times they're likely to use alcohol and twice as likely to try drugs in the future. Desiree Doherty, executive director of the Parent-Child Center of Tulsa, said the dinner table offers a good vehicle for open communication. And then they give some tips for family dinners. Slow down, relax. Some people eat really, really fast. Know anyone like that? It's a race. The idea is turn off the TV. There's some claps and some half claps there. Don't answer the phone. Listen and catch up. Make cooking part of the family process. That's family time. And it teaches them how to cook before they leave home. Don't let a bad day spoil dinner. If there's something you can share about that bad day, then do it. That's real life. You have bad days, sad days, hard days. And we really need to talk about it. And talk about it without blaming, judging, and criticizing. If you don't have control of yourself, the only thing you need to say is, it was so bad, I don't know how to talk about it. That's wonderful role modeling. You just leave it and go on and process it, and when you can, you do it. We look back at how Bruce and Trudy and the Mows and the Grothies, the Micklers, the Lays, different families that have been in our church, the Demuths and McCutcheons have raised their children. 30 years ago, we all began on this trail. Approximately, some were 28 or 27 or 25. And I look at those children today in their 20s, some in their 30s, living for God, going after Jesus, because someone put some seeds inside of them. Someone believed God and saw it. I saw Daniel Grothy on Friday, and he and his two sisters are all working, as well as Dave and Becky in Colorado, in a beautiful church out there. Anna is leading worship at ORU. Now think about David's family. What he grew up with was watching his mother and father fight at the table, watching plates fly across the room, watching them slug it out, and him standing in the middle as a 9, 10, 11-year-old boy trying to stop them. Can't we work this out? The way he found out his father had died was when he switched on the television and it showed an oil derrick explosion that his dad was on. Just because you've had a horrible upbringing doesn't mean you have to pass it on to the next generation. See, a lot of people, their excuse is, well, I didn't know how. There are books, there are tapes, there are services, there's so many things. And we break those generational curses now in Jesus' name. We agree for it, and you declare it, that it will not be passed on. It will not be the same. I want to encourage you to take time to pray for your family. The family that prays together stays together. As the head of your home, dads, you're called to lead the prayer. It seems like so often the women are more inclined to pray. Let's ramp it up, guys. It's time. And how do you spell love? In so many words, people have said you spell it T-I-M-E. Think about taking time to invest in your children. Sarah was in the living room this last week and she said, Dad, we're going to take the kids down to Pumpkin City. I said, man, that sounds fun. You know, when they were 1 year old, we took them down to Bixby, where all these pumpkins and all these corn stalks and the little burros and camels, all types of animals, sheep are there, and there's a big wagon ride. That was a tradition for us every year to go and spend a late afternoon, just several hours down there. And our kids always treasured it. In fact, they want to go with little Isaac and Lizzie now and do the same thing because it stirred up such memories. So many afternoons, when we were first getting started, we lived near a little park that had a pool next to it, a pool in it, and we were able to go and swim in that city park. But we also swam in rivers, in lakes, and we took the kids fishing in a lot of ponds. Ruthie loved to get worms and squeeze them right in front of Sarah. Sarah she didn't want to touch anything like that. Ruthie didn't care. But those were great memories. I say that to tell you, we spent a lot of time in the state parks. It doesn't take a lot of money to invest time in your children. Everybody say, invest. Now, what does invest mean? It means taking part of your assets and putting them into a certain area. And what's your most valuable asset? I think it's you. You. You, your time, your energy, your heart, your love, your care. So many people, their investment is all in their business. Entertainment, recreation. If you charted out their week, you could see what they value. At some point in our lives, we have to evaluate the areas where we want to invest. And then we look at our time and say, all right, how much time do I have and where can I